One AFC general manager says that Cam Newton would be picked up by at least 10 teams in the NFL if he was put on the trading block. With Kyle Allen continue to dominate and Christian McCaffrey becoming an MVP candidate, do you put Cam Newton back in the game and potentially ruin the little mojo they've got going since he's left with his Liz Frank injury? He's back. He's practicing. Who knows what they're going to do? They're going to have to make some real decisions. Here's our 5 landing spots that we have come upon. Tennessee Titans, because of what happened with Mariota Tannehill. That's pretty self-explanatory. I think the Titans become a good team if Cam Newton can play like Cam Newton played before it seemed as if he got his happiness sucked out of him by Von Miller in that Super Bowl. So if he goes to a new spot, has to prove himself to a new group of humans, has a chip on his shoulder, wants to save his legacy as an MVP candidate, as a Super Bowl quarterback, as a guy that could take over games, he could be great with the Tennessee Titans depending upon what they're looking to do. Plus with Vrabel as the coach, that kind of smash mouth style, that would fit very well for them. The Bengals is another place that he could potentially go to. That old Zach Taylor guy, I mean, I have no clue about him. I know nothing about him. I guess he's only called 5 games before this season. They hired him as a head coach. Now he's a full-time offensive coordinator. Andy Dalton had no shot. I watched that game a little bit this weekend. That Bengals team looks like that's a tough place to go. No indoor facility. Gets very cold. Food notoriously bad. Not a great place to go, I guess, but players go there and do well. Shout out Pac-Man. Shout out to Andy Dalton, who's a fan of the show. But I think those days are about numbered for Andy Dalton. Cam Newton going there could potentially expedite the process of them not being a terrible program organization anymore. The Denver Broncos. Joe Flacco, who has been nothing short of elite since appearing on our podcast 2 Fridays ago. They have been undefeated. They have performed very well. I like Joe Flacco. Let's say Joe Flacco gets dinged up, though. What do the Broncos do? Maybe bring in old Cam Newton. And what a circle of life story that would be, since the Denver Broncos and Von Miller were potentially the team that stripped Cam Newton's happiness from him in that Super Bowl. If he was able to go out there and do well, a lot of quarterbacks who can do well in Denver will get welcomed back like the heroes that they are. Peyton Manning has a parade there, I think, every single day. It feels like Peyton Manning is in Denver every single weekend, as he should be. Took him to a couple of Super Bowls. That could be a place. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is his style good for a Bruce Arians offense? Bruce Arians is hucking that rock, bro. I mean, that's what Bruce Arians is doing. Cam Newton, I've never said he has a weak arm. I think he has a great arm. I don't know how he is as a passer because I don't think you get to see it enough here in recent history because he's either hurt or they're running or something's going on. Maybe Cam Newton goes to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, does well. And the landing spot that we think would be an instant game changer for the team that it involves. A team whose defense was being heralded as the next 2000 Ravens defense. A team going into the season, people were like, this team can do some real damage. This team was one kicker away, they say, one blocked kick, double doink kick away from potentially making a run last year. They're back this year. Quarterback gets hurt. Backup quarterback doesn't do great. If this guy was to land in the midway for the Chicago Bears, if Cam Newton was to become the Chicago Bears quarterback, I think the Chicago Bears become a better football team immediately. And I think that is a team you have to really think about if they were to shoot their shot with the Carolina Panthers. I'm not sure they have much to give because they gave away everything for Khalil Mack, but I'm not sure how much Carolina Panthers would have to get in return to get rid of him, because that's going to be quite a situation. We're not saying they're trading Cam Newton. We're saying if they were to trade Cam Newton, where they would go. Conversation came up in our 13-person discussion before the show on if he was to go to the Cowboys, do you think the Cowboys are better? So I put a poll to the people. I said, excuse me, if you're Jerry Jones and he's on the trading block, would you rather Cam Newton or Dak Prescott? And 58% of the people who voted Dak Prescott, we got 34,000 votes. What a fall for grace, by the way, for Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton was being talked about as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Now a guy who has definitely struggled, who I guess is on the eve of getting a pretty rather large contract, who has not done well, blows him out of the water by 16 points. That's a wild thing right there. That's a wild thing for me. And the Cowboys fans have been coming after me for even posting the poll. I even said this is not my thoughts. This is just a thought. posting a poll. Cowboys fans love them some Dak Prescott, which I appreciate, I respect. He's going to have to win some games, though, because as soon as you pay him, let's say $84 million guaranteed, and he struggles just a little bit, you're all going to turn on him very quickly. And I think the Cowboys need to start doing better, and I hope Dak Prescott gets broken off. But, boy, we're forced to watch them, man, and I hope they become a good football team.
I think that poll just shows how far Cam has fallen and how bad he has looked the last 2 years.
He's looked bad, bro.
That many people would rather have Dak, who, I mean, Dak's average. Dak's looked average.
You're going to get buried for that.
I mean, he has.
I just want to let you know, like, I don't know if that was on camera or not, like if people saw your face there. These Cowboys fans love Dak Prescott, and I appreciate the fact that they love their quarterback, by the way. I appreciate the hell out of that. They stuck by Tony Romo for his bad times, his good times, and his bad times again. They welcome back Jason Witten with open arms. That Cowboys fan base is an incredible one, a loyal one. Jerry Jones is an incredible owner. He's been able to build up a franchise that has withstood the test of failure. They've remained a famous, popular team, even with all of their failures that they have had, because of how good an owner Jerry Jones is and how good of a franchise that Dallas Cowboys team is. But, man, they've been so average. If something doesn't give there with Jason Garrett, I got a call from John Daly yesterday. I think it was he's not happy. I don't think he's happy that one. I didn't answer. I think he's not happy with how I'm talking about the Cow. He loves the Dallas Cowboys and loves Jerry Jones. And yesterday I asked, did Jerry Jones lose his edge because he's just accepting mediocrity with this Jason Garrett thing and not even thinking about firing him? I would assume Jerry Jones potentially heard that and said, you tell that McAfee I didn't lose it. We'll find out. So is Dak a victim of circumstance here with an ever mediocre team? Maybe. I don't know. But to think that the question, even posing the question, made these Dallas Cowboys fans upset, to me is hilarious. Like, that is a hilarious thing to happen, and I hope they start winning for those Dallas Cowboys fans who deserve a team to be well and do well.
They're delusional. They're delusional Cowboys fans. It's how they've always been. It's how they always will be.
You should not say what you're saying.
Well, no, it's not what you're saying. It's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're going to get killed for this.
I mean, I'm speaking the truth, so I shouldn't be killed.
People have been dying for the truth for a long time.
Good point. Killed for a lot less.
A long time.
You know what? If that's how I go out, that's how I go out.
Oh, very noble of you.
That's an admiral.
Very admiral.
Very admiral, Z.
Oh yeah.
You know what would be?
You are right, though.
You know what would be interesting is maybe a guy like Andy Dalton in Dallas.
Yeah,
he went to TCU. He gets some weapons around him. I think he could.
Don't
think he could
even
perform
say
well
what
down
you
there.
just said right there. Are you kidding me right now?
Pat, yesterday on Get Up, they were asking, would you rather have Dak Prescott or Sam Darnold after that game on Sunday?
I mean, that's
Oh,
easy.
and Greeny said, I would take Sam Darnold 10 times out of 10 or whatever. And did you see? He got ratioed on that tweet. He got ratioed on that thing. I appreciate and respect the hell out of these Cowboys fans. I really do. They are with them through and through because it's just been mediocre stuff here for a long time, and they are all in. They're just waiting for that team to bust through. They're just waiting for that team to go back to the glory days when they were just an unstoppable force. When the star on the helmet meant that when they arrived in your stadium, you're in for a long day. It was going to be tough to beat the Dallas Cowboys, a well-coached team, an energetic team, a team that at any given moment could win any given game. Dallas Cowboys show up in a lot of stadiums right now. Everybody knows it's going to happen. They're going to lose. They are probably going to lose. That's just the way it is. And I would assume you can't. If they're telling me that Dak's the only person playing good on the team, a lot of people tweeting me. Okay, so if Dak's playing good, Zeke rushed for 100 yards last week. The defense says we're beating ourselves. Whose desk does that fall upon? Whose desk does it fall upon? The head coach then? Is that what, if everybody's playing good? If everybody's playing good,
right,
and they're losing. And they're 29th in time of possession, 29th in field position, and 30th in turnovers. If everybody's playing good, Cowboys fans, all we want to know is whose fault is it then? That's all I want to know.